Hello, strong people. Week 9, day 2 of official Strongman Games prep. I hope you can hear me right now because it is absolutely pouring outside. I'm definitely supposed to throw bags today. That ain't gonna happen. There's literally no shot. So, we're just gonna go straight into deadlifts. I gotta work up to some heavy stuff today. Supposed to be 820 pounds for 1 to 3 singles, I believe. So, I'm not even gonna waste your time. I'm just gonna get right into it. I wanna get lifting, so that's what I'm gonna do. Let's do it. Poo. So, I failed my top set. Not great. I probably got a little bit carried away with myself. I did, so it was called for 820. And frankly, I didn't want to put 2.5s on because I don't like 2.5s. So I put, now I need 2.5s because this bar is, I say it every time I use it pretty much. But the bar is 67 pounds. So it's not ever, it's never going to be even. It's always going to be, what is it always going to be? It's always going to, the number on the end is always going to be a 3 or an 8. So I was either going to do 823 or 828. If I had put 823 on there, it may have gone up. That 5 pounds may have made the difference. My voice is gone. Excuse me. But it was right there, man. I don't know. There's something about deadlift that just hasn't quite clicked all prep. I don't know what it is. I don't know. My legs just they're not working. They are not. My quads feel like they are just dead. Like, even 2 days ago, if you watched my video the other day, when I was log pressing the comp weight, that was terrible leg drive. It was not good. I still was able to press it because my strict press has gotten a lot better, but as far as a good push press, no, it was not. And it's kind of feeling the same way for this. I just don't feel like I have it all in me to pull that weight right now, which is okay. Because it's almost deload time. Like, next week's a back down week, and then it's a true deload week the week after that. So it's very common for my legs to go these 2-3 weeks out, or they just do not cooperate. They do not want to work. So that's what feels like happening. It's a normal part of prep. Remember how... All right, now 2 different things here. Remember the one day I said every time I talk about something happening means it doesn't happen? Well, I guess it's happened twice now. So this guy did not get my squat rack. I think I mentioned that. I didn't have to deliver it, He didn't end up wanting it. So that's one thing that I talked about that didn't happen. And the second thing now, on Monday's video, I talked about prioritizing, getting carbs, good night's sleep, all that stuff. I didn't do a great job of that last night at all. So I got home, brought the dogs out, and when I did, I guess it'd be my grandfather-in-law, my wife's grandpa, was out here already. And then him and her uncle and I, we helped. When I say I didn't really do anything because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I helped where I could. So I was out here on my feet for 4 hours last night. Not a big deal, But normally I'm, eating, getting hydrated, staying, I don't know. It's just not the night that I'd like to have prior to the heaviest deadlift day of prep. I did get to bed pretty early because of all that. So I can't say I wasn't well rested, but I probably could have done a better job of getting protein and carbs in, better carbs in. But I can't complain too much. Like, I know plenty of people out there work, hard jobs where you do stuff like even way worse stuff than just feeding wire all day long. It's just my routine thing, honestly. I'm just that type of, I want a routine, and nothing last night was part of my routine really. So I kind of skimped on some stuff to try to get to bed earlier. It worked. I got to bed earlier, but maybe I shouldn't have skimped on, that extra Greek yogurt and orange juice shake, or I should have done a better job of getting more carbs in, or whatever. Realistically, my body was just tired. That's really it. And I can tell. Well, I know I'm getting tired whenever people at work start telling me I look tired. I'm like, I know, don't worry. It's funny because I'm pretty sure it's almost always around the end of prep for a show. So we're at that same stage, and it's been a heavy, heavy prep. Everything's been heavy. But with all that being said, I also almost wonder if we prepped more for reps rather than like a single on this weight. Because whenever I trained for Battle at the Bridge, I trained for what? How many max deadlifts this year? I guess just 2. But that's, So I pulled a max axle. I pulled a lot of singles leading up to that. Excuse me. Whenever I trained for the max axle in March, I pulled a ton of singles leading into that. And whenever I trained for Battle at the Bridge, I pulled a ton of singles the last month of prep leading into that show. But this show, I've only hit over 700, counting today, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 times. So, I don't know. Like when I was pulling for Battle at the Bridge, where it was just a regular old max deadlift, I routinely had I would have started out 8 to 10 singles, probably low 7s. And I had singles for 3 weeks in a row, leading up to the last week, which would have been today back then in that prep, if that makes sense. It would have been the 3-week out spot where I pulled 790 for several singles. But I was building up those heavier singles the whole prep. I haven't really touched anything that crazy heavy this prep. Not nothing really close to 800 up until last week, which was what, 748, 750, something like that. So, I don't know. It's too late to change any of it now. I just have to trust it. Trust the deload and see what happens. So, I'm going to ask my coach about it. He'll probably restore some of my confidence about it. Because, looking back at it, I know this is kind of a long second segment here. But looking back at Battle at the Bridge, so that was in June, right? July. Was that beginning of June? Whenever it was, there was like a few week gap where I had like a miniature off season, and then I hopped into the online qualifiers for OSG, and I almost pulled 881 there. I pulled 838 there, and it was pretty easy. I hitched, but like whatever. It felt easy enough to where I felt confident going to 881. But I pulled that out of prep. It was after training heavy singles for a while, so maybe I was better prepared at that point. Now, I understand that this show is for reps. It's 820 for reps. But I don't really feel accustomed to heavier weights. But I got to trust the deload. That's just how it goes. I keep going back and forth, but I know I need to trust the deload. So I don't know what I have next. I know I have wrecking ball hold for sure at some point. So I'm probably just going to skip to that. All right, well, I know you're expecting wrecking ball hold right now, but I started warming up for it, and my body is toast. The thing about the wrecking ball hold is it's full body. It's not grip. So like it's taxing your low back, your upper back, quad, everything, glutes. Your body, it's just slowly being folded in on itself as time goes. So I was struggling with something less than my max, and I gotta play it smart. I already failed my deadlift, and I tried again after that. That 828 attempt, that wasn't even like I tried that and that was close, but I tried again after that, and I couldn't even break the ground. So doing something like that twice, that zaps so much energy. So it was after failing the first one, it was really stupid on my part to go again. But I remembered when I was trying for the online qualifier, I failed 881, went back 2 minutes later, and I failed it again, like right at the same spot. So being able to do that, it kind of gave me a little bit of overconfidence, like, oh, just because you didn't get the first one doesn't mean you can't get the second one, which really doesn't make any sense because I failed both of those for the qualifier. So what kind of weird psychology is that? But I don't know. Everything else kind of went fine, but I need a break. I know deload's coming, a real deload, but I'm tired. I really am. Which is how I'm supposed to feel this part. This part of prep is so mental. Because, like, it really is. You don't feel good. Everything feels heavy. I still see some people pulling crazy heavy weights. You know, crazy heavy yokes, and I still do have a heavy yoke coming up, but, you know, obviously that's for another day. But just in general, I see people doing all this heavy stuff still, and I know this is like the week to do the heavy stuff 3 weeks out, so that's why I'm seeing it, but at the same time, people are doing like crazy stuff. Good for them. I do not feel that way when I'm this close to a show. I feel like just absolute garbage a lot of the time. And kind of looking back, I asked my coach, I sent him the video, he didn't respond to it yet. I asked him the questions like, should I be worried about this? Like, I've never failed a deadlift like this at this stage in prep. And looking back at, like my prep, the first 6 weeks of this, we didn't know the events. And I even asked about changing the program at that point in time because the events got announced, you know, like halfway through that prep. But we kind of stuck with it. So I I don't know if my trajectory was quite right in aiming for that 7 or the 820. I don't really do programming, so I don't fully understand it. So I trust my coach to do it. Absolutely, I do, 100%. And I always question myself, like these 3 weeks out, where I'm like, well, I feel terrible. This didn't move right. Whatever. So, but I trust him, and it almost always works out well. So I just hopefully keep that same mindset. But with that being said, like looking back at prep for even the regional I just did, where it was reps, 663 for reps. Like even then, I went heavier in that first prep block than I did the first prep block for this one, which I don't fully understand. And then looking back at other shows this year, like regionals, I know it's you can't really compare reps to maxes, but this weight is so close to my max that it feels weird to treat it like reps. And I could be wrong about that, but the way that my last 3 weeks of prep goes for like maxes, or I should say 5 weeks usually, I think. So it's like sets of 8 to 10 singles at like, I'm trying to think of what percentage it would even be. I don't know. Just to kind of go back, looking at regionals, it was a max deadlift on a regular bar, deadlift bar. I had 8 to 10 singles programmed at like 720 to 750. So already there, I'm way over what I've touched at any point in this prep for the most part. Not really. I hit 748, 750 or whatever for a single, just one. Trying to relate this. And obviously I had primed myself a little bit better leading into the last prep for a heavier weight at the Battle at the Bridge Regional. I just don't feel like I primed myself that well for this heavy of a weight. Like I feel like I should have been in the 7s sooner. Maybe, get my CNS. I don't know. I could be completely blabbering, and I probably am. So don't listen to me too much. This is where I overthink in prep, always. So ultimately, I forget about it game day, and I just go out there and I pull the bar. That's just how it goes. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop whining, blabbering about, maybe we didn't do this right, maybe we didn't do any of that right. And I'm just going to lift. That's really all I can do at this point. Rest, lift. Well, not quite rest yet. Rest, on rest days. But I still have some heavy stuff to do this weekend and tomorrow. We'll see about tomorrow. My left shoulder pec is still a little bit weird, so we'll play that by feel. But that's what I'm calling the video today. A lot more yapping than lifting. But you have that someday. So until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.